Hello, everyone. A big welcome to one and all who are logging in to Ruach Audio Singapore Facebook. We're coming to you live here, of course, from Singapore. I'm your host for tonight. My name is Daniel Singh, and I am a vocal coach in Singapore. I've been I train singers in Singapore as well as overseas, and I've been doing this for about 15 years now. I do lessons in person and I teach online over Skype and FaceTime. And at the same time, because of my work with singers and my work with audio, I'm also the product advocate for Ruach Audio Singapore. And in my line of work, we hear singers when they're in the studio recordings, in live performances, in-person lessons, And so for us, it's very important that we are hearing the singers that are coming out of the speakers and we're hearing good quality sound. And so I'm excited to be here today. This is, of course, the worldwide launch of Ruach Audio's latest product, the R3. Now, joining me in this time are actually two of them from Ruach Audio United Kingdom. That's right. Now, those of you who are familiar with the Live with Ruach sessions, you know the founder and managing director of Ruach Audio, Alan O'Rourke. And joining us with him today would be Richard McKinney, who's the sales director. So let's call them in right now. Alan and Richard, there we go. Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. Hi, good evening.
Hello. How are you doing in the UK?
We're very well. The sun is shining today. It looks a bit dark where you are at the moment, though. What time is it out there?
It's about 8 o'clock here.
8 o'clock. Okay, so we're just 1 o'clock over here.
1 o'clock there. So good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, and good night to me.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Well, it's such a privilege to have the both of you on today. It must be a big day, of course, for Ruach Audio with the launch of the R3. But before we get into that, I'd just like to hand the time over to Alan. And Alan, could you tell us a little bit more about Ruach Audio and the Ruach sound?
Ruach. Ruach, we're 35 years old plus this year. So we've been doing this 35 years. It was me and my father who started this little company, Ruach, to really bring our creations, our loudspeaker creations to market. And that was back in 1985. And here we are all these years on. We did very well selling our speakers. But in 2000, in the turn of the millennium, we just saw an opportunity to diversify and concentrate on what we called small audio. So the first project was to build a little high fidelity radio. I was a fan of radio, and seeing in the UK they were launching this format at the time called DAB. It was digital radio broadcasting, and we just seemed to us there was no really good quality radios on the market. So we took this chance to take a different route. And in 2006, we launched our new the first generation R1. And we fully intended to keep our speakers going and the small audio products going alongside each other. But very quickly, this started to gain traction. And here we are, 14, 15 years on. And we are just totally focused on making what we think are the best small audio products you can buy. So if you want, and the nice thing about our products today is they're not just made for hi-fi enthusiasts, audio enthusiasts. They appeal to everybody. So people looking for nice things for their home, quality sound, quality design. That's where we're focused. We had this lovely quote where they called us the Aston Martin of radios back when we started, and that's just where we want to be. We want to be seen as being the best in our marketplace.
Fantastic. That's really great. We're here, and of course we've been in this pandemic situation all across the world, and it's interesting because when we talk about the lockdowns that have happened, and a lot of psychologists have weighed in as well about how music is so important for us. when we're in the
Yes.
home. And I guess you guys would understand it as well, and a lot more than.
Well, I think that, I mean, Richard can tell you a bit more, but literally when it's first, I think we came to see you in March. It was when we first came over,
Yes.
and then we came back, and the lockdown happened, and it seemed to us that we just didn't know what to expect, whether it was going to be a complete disaster. But Richard will tell you a bit.
I mean, just going back actually to something you said earlier, we were talking about the launch back in 2006, and we mentioned the R1.
Yeah.
Daniel, I think some of the guys in Singapore may not be familiar with the R1 because we haven't actually launched that product in Singapore,
Yes.
and there's a valid reason for that. We do have a new generation coming, so that will be another video down the line somewhere. So we didn't want to launch with old, so there will be a new generation coming to Singapore soon.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so just carrying on from what Alan was saying about the pandemic, and the music makes people happy. It's our products are companions to people, and I think as Alan said, we were right with you guys back in March. Then lockdown happened.
Right.
I think our products became more important in people's homes and more of a companion, because especially for those working from home. I'm guessing, like in the UK, everyone was encouraged to work from home, so everyone's lives are flipped upside down. And people working in big office blocks are used to that social aspect to it as well. So to go from that to working on your own in a room in your house, with no social interaction, it's not good for mind or soul. So actually, during the lockdown, as Alan said, we at the start we weren't sure how that was going to affect sales. We were kind of expecting the worst, but it was actually the opposite. All of a sudden, April ended up a better month than November. In the approach to Christmas, because people were buying things for their homes. So that R1 we did very well. MR1 in particular, it's that perfect set of home office speakers. And if you're sitting in an office all day, every day, you want something that's easy to the ear, something that's not harsh to listen to. And that rich, warm sound and analog amplification of the MR1s is just that perfect, set of speakers that you can listen to all day. And whether it's listening to radio or whether it's listening to music, it's kept a lot of people sane during these testing times.
I think that's it. I think music is, a great healer. It makes, I think, it makes people. We've always found, even through our 30 odd year, 5 years, that we've tended to do well even with our hi-fi speakers, we did well in recessions. When business was down, our business was up, and I think it's people turn to music to make them feel better. And they're still buying stuff, but perhaps they're more picky, choosy about what they buy. They want to buy things that are going to last, and so I think that's where our products fit well. Good. Okay.
Fantastic. I think that it's very interesting to see what's happening when you're in an environment where perhaps you have more family members in the house, and people are struggling with how many rooms they have and when they can push someone in one corner of the room and move. And just to have music playing in the background, I think also soothes the soul. It reaches out to the soul. It soothes the soul, and I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And today, big day. I love this. I'm so excited about this. You have in front of you, of course, the product at hand, and we're going to let you do the big reveal. So please. Alan,
Daniel,
yes.
let me just say this. This is actually the first live stream we have done globally. We haven't done this in the UK. So your consumers are the first. Your audience is the first. People to see a live stream, a live image of this product that's not still on a website or in a magazine. So this is a live stream. So
it's not in high definition, unfortunately, but hopefully. And with my face, you don't want to see it by high definition. But anyway, Okay, so here we go. So the world exclusive of the new R3. Okay, so yeah, we're very, very pleased with the way this has turned out. It's been a long time in the making. We do spend a long time thinking about a product from concept, from basically the idea to it hitting the shelves is around about 18 months, 2 years. So it takes us a long time. It's not something that can be done in 6 months or even a year. We find it takes us to get it right, to find it takes about 18 months to a year. So I think this is probably about 2 years in the making. So the idea with R3 really was, we had great success with our R4 in the past, which I think yet again is a product you've not had in Singapore.
No.
R4, because Singapore was really, we launched that in 2008 R4, and that's really when we started to really take off for us with these sort of products. The R4 is an all-in-one music system with a CD player. At the time, it had an iPod dock. The only criticism we had of it was a little bit too big. People wanted something a bit smaller, more compact for smaller places. So when we launched the R5, we went a little bit bigger to get a bigger sound and with the subwoofer built in. This is really the smaller brother, I suppose, to the R4 and the R3, except it has, and it's designed in the same way. Just literally, you plug it in, one mains lead, just one power supply in, you switch it on, you have a little setup wizard which connects it to your Wi-Fi network, and then once you've done that takes about 30 seconds, a minute, and then you're ready to go, basically. So you have, so on this little, it has obviously the RUARC look. We have this, we're very keen that our products should have an identity to them. So whether you're looking at an R1 or the flagship R7, straight away what it is. It has it. So I think our products and slowly we're evolving it, we're improving it. So our products have a tactility to them. So they look beautiful, they're lovely to touch. We have this combination of this material on the front is a Camira, it's a British mill fabric. But we had it specially developed so it's acoustically transparent, because for the speakers, you don't want thick material on the front. You need something which breathes, and so the sound can come out, but at the same time it looks beautiful. Now, obviously the glass front panel with the bonded OLED display, so it's crystal clear. So the information coming through from the time to the track information is clear. On top we have our usual, our what we call our rotor dial. This is a signature of our products. So you only see this on our products. There are some very cheap and nasty products out there which have something similar, but that is a copy. They've copied our idea and put it there. So it's not. And of course, as with all of our products from the R5, we've also included a CD player. CD is for us is still. I think it still sounds great. It sounds better than many of these streaming services, and we still believe that people like to own music. They like to have something nice to have something tactile that you can hold. If you are like an artist enough, it's nice to collect the work of that artist and read about them with the sleeve notes, rather than the trend these days is to stream, but you never actually own anything. Then it's gone in time, sort of thing. So we think that like vinyl over here, there's a big increase in people collecting vinyl again. Going back to records. We think CD. I think it's. I did read the other day actually that CD sales were going back up again. So whether that's a part of the lockdown again, people are going out and collecting music, and maybe.
I think the CD is we got a lot of feedback regarding other products like R5 and R7. People perhaps buying it they for streaming the streaming capabilities. They maybe use Spotify or Tidal or Deezer or Amazon Music, which is available in these sources. Quite often we get feedback that of these people are rediscovering their CD collection.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they've had it stored away maybe, and then they're like, oh, hang on a second, it's easy just to get a CD, slot it in front, and they're going through the library and pulling out old CDs.
Wow.
Here, so that's quite nice. And regarding the Rotodial on top, I mean, we try to make it. It's a bit like an iPod. We try to make it as intuitive as possible, so people don't necessarily have to pick up the user manual to figure out how to use it. It's very, very easy to use, as you know. But the other thing is, this Rotodial, it goes through. There's a thread through all our products. So if you know how to use the most basic product, which is the R1 radio, you could walk right up to the R3, R5, R7, and know exactly how to use them, which is we made, like, in terms of design, we made a couple of little changes. So they're very, very positive feedback on the look of the R7, but obviously it's quite a big unit, so it doesn't fit everyone's homes. But everyone loves the look of it. So when we then launched the R5, we wanted to make a smaller version, I suppose, of R7, keep that identity. And then both of those use a cloth grille, the rich walnut veneer and the soft grey finish as well. And we wanted to bring that down into, again, a smaller package again, and that's why But we've made some changes. I mean, Alan will maybe tell you a bit about the legs.
Yes,
I'm not sure can you just ask David to zoom in here so you can get a closer look?
Yes, you'll see that we have these like cantilever legs, we sort of call them, I suppose. It's we are just tilting the unit up, and I like to think that it's a little bit like, it has two functions. It makes the unit look up at you, so if you're standing above it, it makes it a little bit easier to look at the screen. And it looks as though it's like a dog, like looking up at you, ready to, master, what do you want me to do? It gives you that sort of sit up in bed look. Also, it has the function of, it's raised slightly. Most people are walking around, so it helps to project the sound upwards. So if you're walking around, as most people will be, I think, doing their domestic chores, walking in the kitchen or it throws the sound upwards. So it gives you a I think it gives it a cuteness factor to it, makes it quite unique, and I think it's it adds a bit of I don't know. Makes it look like it's floating more as well. I think makes it look a bit sleeker by having this very slim front on there.
It's a great design, and I just wanted to show the viewers as well. I have one right beside me here, and we're gonna offer a look as to the unit I have in front of me. We have a camera that's right on this, and that's the R3 right there, guys. And what Alan and Richard were talking about, again, handcrafted cabinet, sturdy, very, very sturdy cabinet. It's dampened in there, and that's what makes the sound, better. And also, what he was talking about, the Camiro fabric, beautiful OLED display. I love this about your products, the OLED display. I love that so much. Love how you put the CD player at the bottom. Just the design just screams. It's so beautiful. The Rotodial, you're absolutely right. It's so phenomenal because switching between the R5, the MR1, the R7, and the R3 that I have here with me, it's so easy. And the legs as well, as what you were talking about earlier, and it just screams beauty, sophistication, and I just love how it looks and how it sounds as well. And it's interesting because I was going to say that I got my hands on this product yesterday, and so I've been giving it a run through, and so I did a couple of things with it. I loaded my songs off of Bluetooth, which means I'm running it off of my iPhone. And then at the same time, I put a line-in cable so that I could line it in from my laptop into the product as well. So I've been hearing the music that I'm used to hearing, as well as I've taken it for a test spin today. As you know, I'm a voice teacher, so every one of my students that I've been teaching today online on Skype and on FaceTime, I've wired this out directly to the R3, and I must say that it sounds phenomenal. It's not fatiguing when I'm listening to clients and singers back to back and teaching them back to back. There's a lot of work that goes into training singers, and sometimes it's difficult because when the speakers are fatiguing, we might teach for about 2 hours or so, and then we just want to rest. But I was going nonstop today, and right just before we actually had to do this session, I've just been nonstop, and clients sounded great. I love that the mid-range and the higher ends are good because that's where a lot of the vocals sit. And I love especially the balance that I'm hearing on these speakers, and maybe that's something we can talk about when you EQ these speakers, when you tune the speakers. What is your specific Ruach sound? Because I notice the balance is just great.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, just to explain, obviously the drive units in here were developed specifically for we use them in the R5 as well. So they were developed for R5, but we've just tweaked them a little bit more for the R3 to give them, because in the R5 you also have a subwoofer which fills in the bottom end. For the R3, obviously these drive units do cover the whole range from the bass right way through to the mid, up to the treble. But the nice thing about using a single drive units is you get no crossover distortion. You get a very pure sound all the way through.
Right.
So it's a single unit. It's the optimum way. I mean, from a hi-fi person's point of view, to have a single unit that does the whole range is the best way of doing it. Like your voice has no crossovers in there. It's right from the right way to so your voice. So when you start introducing crossovers, you get crossover distortion.
Yeah.
But that's developing drivers will use these very powerful neodymium magnets, and we call these NS plus. So it's natural sound plus. So we've worked hard to get a single drive in it, which gives you the full range. So it has a very lightweight but rigid and damped cone assembly. So they handle everything from the low registers right the way up to the ultrasonic frequencies, so that works. It works, and obviously driving them is a Class AB amplifier. We still very much believe in analog amplifiers. They sound more natural still than any of these digital amplifiers out there. But I've always said designing a speaker, designing something like this, it's getting the recipe right. It's knowing how to blend the ingredients. Like a chef when he's mixing spices and herbs, it's getting that blend right. So the cabinet is, the body of it. It's like a piano body. It has to be, it has to add a certain amount of character itself. It's impossible to make it completely, but it has to sound right. So we spend time tuning the cabinet, adding damping inside. But I think we've been doing it so long now, we tend to know what to, we have our own recipe, I guess, really, as anybody, as even a chef will have. He'll have a recipe for certain things that he knows what works, and to say the same with us. So it's, but we're always looking at, obviously at new things, and with this, the R3, it was specifically we wanted it compact. That creates its own problems. In terms of, we have smaller space for the drive units, but we're very pleased with what we've achieved.
I think you nailed on the head. Put the nail on the head there. That it's compact, but it's got this expansive sound, which is a tagline that we use, and those 4 words pretty much explain what this product's all about. And it's not just about the sound; it's about the technology that's in here as well. So we didn't. I don't think we talked about all the functionality of it. So you've got smart radio, which means you've got DAB, FM, and internet radio, where you can listen to podcasts, listen again services. So I think we were mentioning earlier that in somewhere like Singapore, where it's a multicultural society, and maybe people are living there from all parts of the world, through internet radio and podcasts and listen again service, you can listen to maybe UK citizens living in Singapore can listen to the BBC via internet radio. So that's thing, and that carries through into R5 and R7 as well. You've got CD, obviously, Alan was talking about earlier. Bluetooth, stream via Wi-Fi, so Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, and Tidal. So there's a lot packed into this little box, which will sit perfectly on a shelf in your home.
I can't think there's not much that. I mean, we think that this will give most customers everything they want in a single box. As you say, it's very quick to set up, and it looks beautiful. We have found that people have been, once they buy one of our products, like an R1, they then go and buy another product for their. So that we got people we know that have our products all around their home. An R1 by their bed, an R1 in the kitchen, and a pair of MR1s in the office, the home office, an R1 or R5. I think it's good
as well, Daniel. I think you've got some nice slides of how it might look in people's homes, but we've had such a great response from the press that we've showed so for Embargo and from our retail partners for this product that we've actually sold out of the first 2 production runs. It's sold out. There are some allocated, don't worry, to Singapore. There's some coming, and it's actually, I think you're going to cover this as well, but it's available to pre-order from today in Singapore, and you've got some other little added extras with that as well.
I'm just going to show the audience that's tuning in. Here are some shots of the products. See how beautiful that looks. Available in walnut finish as well as soft gray, and so it's going to blend perfectly into various decors. Some prefer the look of wood, some prefer a little bit more modern, streamlined look, and that soft gray lacquer finish is beautiful for that. So again, choice of 2 colors. And it's a very compact design, as you can see. The design is really compact, the size is really compact, but it's such an expansive sound and beautiful finish on the way that the curves are, the metal legs at the bottom. I just love how the design speaks. And, most of the time you're looking at a product and, we don't just want to hear a product. We also want to experience the product visually. And so here are some product shots of the R3 there in a home. Gorgeous, gorgeous looking, beautiful product. Again, that's a soft gray finish. Soft gray finish in the home. And that's right. Those 2 are fantastic colors. And I love how you've kept the feel and look of the products to be so seamless, and it really speaks of the attention to detail. I think that's what when I first got to know about Rock Audio, I think that was the big deal for me. It was that it is a product that screams not just in terms of sound, but in terms of attention to detail and design. And you can see this right behind me here. Again, we'll go to a live cam version of this. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Connections in the back. And so if you could just maybe turn the product around and show the various connections that you have.
Actually, you're connected to that one. So.
Okay, of course, yes. Stick to the table. It'll move.
Take it off for you, so you can have a closer look there.
Perfect.
Okay,
yeah, perfect. What are the connections there in the back?
Anything that's not built in. So obviously one thing we've always said, we try and make products which are going to last a long time.
Yes.
So we build the technology in that we believe is going to last.
Yeah.
Things that you may want to add, like voice recognition, things like that, you can easily connect these devices through the inputs on the back.
Right.
So you've got both digital and analog inputs. So it'd be very easy, for instance, to put an Amazon Alexa device into the back here, or some sort of Google Home device. You've got a. You notice also we have the latest USB-C input on the back. Everything's changing over from everything's going from USB-A to USB-C. So the smaller connector, the universal connector, this is both a playback port and charge port. So you can plug in a memory stick with WAV files, FLAC files, and it will play back your. You can very quickly transfer music from your computer, plug it in the back here, and it will play from there. Obviously, you have an Ethernet connector, so if you want to hardwire it to your home network, you can. And I think obviously the aerial connector, obviously, so we have a removable telescopic aerial. But if you don't like the look of an aerial, you can very easily wire it directly into your. If you live in I think a lot of places in Singapore have a shared aerial. I would go for radio broadcasts. I'm guessing. I don't know. But I know in a lot of European countries they do, so it's very easy to hook it up to the what do you call it? The communal. Yes, yeah. Thing. Headphone output. Just generally, pretty much. We've try to make it as flexible as we can.
The other thing is, if you don't like having a telescopic antenna sticking out the back, if you listen to all your radio on the internet radio stations, the Wi-Fi antenna is actually within the cabinet, so you don't need an aerial at all. So it will just connect to your Wi-Fi network.
I also wanted to show the size and scale if I could. So I'm just going to scoot away out of the picture for a while, and we're going to show you how that looks compared to the R7. So that's the R3 right here, and we're just going to move this back here. That's compared to the R7. And so for those who need a size comparison, that of course is the flagship product, the R7. Beautiful design, and Alan showed us the last time you could even sit on this and it's not going to topple over. You could put books on this, kind of have this as part of your interior design. So not only is it going to have beautiful sound, but it's great design that you could put as part of your interior. Now, some may like this product, some may like something a little more compact in its design, but still with the same expansive sound, that we come to know of Ruoc Audio. And perhaps that's a question that I think some of our viewers might wonder. You've got the R5, you've got the R7, you've got the MR1, you've got the MRX, and as you mentioned, a new version of the R1 that's coming up. And so maybe you could share with us a little bit more about where the R3 sits in the product line, and where the various products actually sit, and how would a consumer decide which product to get?
I think, as it said earlier, I think that the R3 was from feedback from customers that wanted a more compact system because more easily sits in a shelving system or just on a work surface. I think you put an R5 on a kitchen worktop. It takes up a lot. It would dominate the worktop. This is it's slimmer. It's not as deep. It just doesn't take up so much space. So it was designed for a purpose. If you want, like the R3 goes loud. If you wanted a more powerful sound, then the R5. But it is obviously it's a roughly 30% more 33%. It's a third more again in terms of cost. And then of course, if you want really effortless sound, then the R7. But you need the R7 is a product you build your room around. You have to have space in your room for it. So I think flexibility was where R3 comes. Obviously, we have a nice little small little remote control. infrared remote control.
I was just going to say, when I first unboxed this product, the first thing that hit me when I opened the box was that remote control, because it looks so good.
Yes, it's nice. It's a nice little, and also we have presets on here. We've been asked. I mean, as I say, we listen to customer feedback. So particularly our Swiss customer, it seems that he really, really wanted presets direct. So you can put your three favourite. If you have a Spotify playlist, you can put your three favourite playlists on there. Your FM stations or internet stations, so you can quickly access those through those three. And generally, people only listen to three different, even though you have access through internet radio to thousands of stations, with your three favourites on there is a very quick way to access them. And control, so it's very easy to put the. I think Ben wanted to do this. If I switch it on, switch it on first of all.
Whilst Alan is doing that, we also have an app that can control the unit as well. So you've got the remote control if you fancy something a bit more traditional, or if you want the app, you can use that as well.
I suppose CD in it. I don't see CD in it.
Come on. Have a shot.
Screen, yeah.
Can you take this thing off my voice? I've got like the speaker.
We can't play much because I think of this may be this one may be okay.
Okay, leave it on then. Good.
The copyright. As I said, now you won't be able to hear that over the microphone. You wouldn't have got any impression of what it really sounds like. That you have to experience for yourself. But
or go along to one of the stores in Singapore, Musica, and in the Icon Gallery is a good place to go and have a listen to it. I think Daniel, you may have mentioned it.
I also wanted to make mention of this because so many, sometimes you buy a product. And further down the line, the manufacturer says, hey, you know what? I've got, some ideas about how to improve the sound or the quality or the connections or, various things that go around with the software. What I'm really impressed with is that for you guys, there are firmware updates. And so as long as I'm plugged into the internet on Wi-Fi or Ethernet, my R5 just, about 2-3 weeks ago, said, hey, you have a software update that's here, and you just flick the button and boom, it does it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if we ever get reports of mainly if someone reports a bug, there's a certain number of keystrokes, but also it allows us to introduce, audio tweaks and things like that. If we find something we think that will be of a benefit to all our customers, then we can easily release this as a software update. So, a bit like your phone is always updating. It just allows us to keep on top of the of what's going on and offer these as upgrades to our dealers, which are free of charge, of course. They don't cost anything for those upgrades.
It's also like we're always trying to refine it to make it better. It's not a case of at this point the product's finished. That's the beauty about software. We can do updates remotely and online, and if we think something's going to improve the product as a whole, whether it's audio or functionality, we'll introduce that change and just to create better user experience.
Yes, yeah. I think that I must point out that obviously that if it gets to the point where there are no updates, it's because we think it's perfect. We're not. There's nothing more we can do. So don't worry if you get one of our products and there is no updates. It means that we've pretty much we're happy with what it is. But I think the nice thing with online products is that it's very easy to offer tweaks if we want to. But if you get a year and there's nothing going on, then that's it. That's we refined it.
I think it's good because it gives peace of mind that when a product's there, if there's nothing wrong, there are not going to be any updates. But if there are little tweaks, maybe to the audio, to the EQ, or anything like that, like with the R3 just launched. To be able to know that there is an option if you guys up in the main factories, you know, there's a better way of making it sound. There's a little tweak here or there. I think that's phenomenal.
Yes. One thing that we were saying earlier is that, you know, obviously with all our products, we also have a feature of display, apart from the MR ones, which are obviously stereo speakers, MRX. But you know, we think that having a display that so many products don't have these days. They rely on you totally using your phone to see what's playing, and I think is, you know, just to be able to, you hear a song that's playing, it would be on the radio, and just to be able to look up and think, that's what it is. You make a note of it in your head or write it down. I think it's or if you're listening to Spotify, or you know, you've got a track that's playing on your playlist you haven't heard before. You don't have to open your phone, and it just says it there. So,
or something as simple as wanting to know what time it is in Singapore, and I can see 8:41 behind you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Here is the pre-order exclusive for everyone, because everyone wants to know, how do I get my hands on this product? It's going to go for $1,299. That's $12.99 Singapore dollars, and that's the pre-order exclusive for the R3. Now, this is very important because the first few supplies is what Alan and Richard have been talking about. You know, there are a lot of these products that have been sold out in pre-orders, and there's also limited quantity. So if you're looking at the R3 and you're saying, this is what I want, then the pre-order is exclusively at Hachi.tech. That's online. That's Hachi.tech, which is Challenge's web store, website store. So head on out to Hachi.tech, or you can head down to the Musica Boutique at Ion, and this is on level 4, right next to the customer service section. Again, that's Musica Boutique at Ion, level 4, right next to the customer service. And one of the good things about going down to the boutique store as well is that you're able to view the other products. So if you're saying that the R3 is something that I like, but I want desktop speakers for my computer as well, you can see the MR1, you can see the R5, you can see the R7, and just a great place to hear it in person. And of course, we don't have the R3 on display right now, but if you know that's what you want, then again, that pre-order, $1,299, and it includes 6 months of Spotify Premium. Now that's a $60 value. So if you're a fan of Spotify and you pre-order, it includes that Spotify Premium subscription for 6 months, valued at $60, and they will also include free delivery. So once again, if you know this is what you want, then get on and pre-order it. And as soon as it touches down in Singapore, you'll be the first few who would be able to own the R3 music system. Again, compact design and beautiful, beautiful, expansive sound. And this is going to go so well in a bedroom or a study, or you know, a living room even, and you know, there are different products in the various categories, as Alan and Richard have told us, like the R7. This over here, that's the flagship product. Great sound, hi-fi sound on the R7. So some of you might even say, hey, you know what, I need one for my living room and one for my bedroom. Go check out those products as well. And so Alan and Richard, great products that you guys bring out continually. And I must say that as a vocal coach, listening to singers all day long, and I'm hearing them in the studio. I'm hearing them when we're live in concert with them. I'm hearing them, even in a studio recording session. One of the things that it's very interesting is everybody talks about reference, and sometimes people don't even know what reference means because even the reference monitors, you have different shades of it. But what I love about the Ruach sound, if I could get a little personal with this, is that it really is not fatiguing to listen to for hours on end. I mean, you could switch this on and play music through it. I have, my Apple Music, of course, that's Bluetoothing to it. I sometimes play some songs through Tidal. I go switch between Bluetooth and line-ins as well, and the quality is phenomenal. The sound staging is great. And I think this is what makes a good speaker product, a good hi-fi speaker product, good, any product that has great sound. You got to be able to hear the various instruments. When someone mixes a song, everything just doesn't hit you straight up. You pan the vocals, for example, center or a little off center. A trumpet might go off in one on the left, and a trombone may go on the right. The bass may sit at a corner of the room, for example, and to be able to hear that is going on in the Ruach products, where I could sit and listen to the product and go, oh wow, that's the trumpet in the left of it, and here's that, and to be able to hear that detail, because some people say, well, I can put a pair of earphones in, cheap earphones in, I can still hear left and right, but I think that when we come into the world of really enjoying music, there are layers to how a studio engineer would have layered and tracked music, and to be able to have this play on the R3, the R5, the R7, all the products, it's just phenomenal.
Good.
No,
Absolutely.
Yeah. We aim to please.
Yes. Well, as I said, I mean, as much as we've always said, we design products for ourselves. It's nice to see a product come from an idea in our heads, just a concept, and to see, and there's nothing we don't make that we wouldn't want to have at home ourselves. So I think a lot of it comes from a desire, of an idea, something I'd really like a product like that at home, and so I think that's so obviously our houses are full of our own equipment, so we've got but it all fits in. It has a place for so it was design things for ourselves really, smashed it, and it's nice to see people people enjoying them, the feedback we get. People say, I've never heard my music sound so good. So that's really that's good for us. That's the best accolade, really.
So as we come to wrap up the session, I want to open this time just for a couple of minutes for questions. If you have any questions for Alan as well as Richard about the Ruach Audio products, please feel free to type it into the comment section and we'll get that. I think it's been a great informative session. I think we've covered quite a lot, so I'm not sure if we might have a question or two. But while we wait for the questions to come in, maybe you can let us know when is this product going to be available? Primarily, I guess in Singapore, it's still on pre-order. How long's the wait time?
So it's going to be hitting your shores around about mid-August. So a few weeks yet, but as you said, there's quite a high demand for these products, and so if you want to get your hands on that shipment, I would get down to Music or get online to Hatchy as soon as you can, and also you get the 6 months free Spotify membership as well. So that's worth it. I might order one myself.
Yes.
And the other question would be that the product is actually tilted. Now, some of your products are just straight on, like the R5. The R3 is tilted. The R7, of course, has got legs, and you've got puck feet for two options of mounting it. Is there a difference? Was there a conscious sound, or was it a design decision to have the legs of the R3?
Now, as you said, Amy wanted to give it a different character, and it said by having it angled slightly, it gives the impression that it's looking up, and it's. But as you said, if you've got it on a surface, I think a lot of people will be walking. That R7 and R5, I think people will probably tend to sit down and be listening more seriously. This is a product that we think will just be on, at home and people walking around. So to have it tilted up, throwing the sound upwards, has that sort of slight benefit of projecting the sound up towards people when they're walking around. It's I think it. Well, we like the look. I think it looks a bit quirkier. It gives it this effect of it floating. It makes it look like it's floating just above the ground. It's and these makes. I mean, they're cast from alloy. So they're strong. They're not plastic. You won't find there's no plastic on this product. It's all metals. If there is plastic, it's really precision engineered, like you'd get in a high quality car. It's a best quality plastic. So if we use plastics at all, it's only it's where it's really where you could not use any other material. The ring around, for instance, the ring around the rotor dial. This is turned from alloy, so this is aluminium. So everything you wouldn't, in terms of this, if you like, the way the thinness of the material, we couldn't achieve this finish in a plastic. It has to be done in a metal to get that precision look and that finesse.
It's such a premium product, and you can all you need to do is to put your hands on it and feel the product and to see how sturdy it is. I love how the cabinet is. And so we're going to wrap up here. We have no questions. I think we've answered quite a bit today. But I just want to give some social links for everyone. Hit us up at Ruach Audio Singapore, Instagram, that's Ruach Audio SG. Facebook, of course, at Ruach Audio Singapore. And you can visit the website at ruachaudio.com.sg. Once again, those are the social links for Instagram, Facebook, and the website. If you would like to follow me, then my Instagram is Daniel Singh DS, and my website over at danielstudios.com. And looks like it is a wrap. It's been a great time. Alan and Richard. Alan and Richard, thank you so much for joining us. Great time, and congratulations again on a wonderful new product. Yes.
Okay, everyone stay safe, and obviously we hope to, very soon if we can, we'll come over to Singapore to see everybody and to be good to get back. Be good to get back to normality, but possibly not for a while, unfortunately. But stay safe. Okay.
So everyone, again, we wish you safety and health during this unprecedented time. And in the meanwhile, while we wait for the next time we see you again, enjoy your music. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.